much for joining us tonight for another Mustang Monday. Today we are going to be meeting with the Cal Poly Transfer Center. So for all of you transfers out there, whether you're interested in coming to Cal Poly, you have applied and you've been accepted, or if you are deciding where you want to go to school and where you want to transfer, or if you're just a prospective transfer student, then this is going to be a great live for you to join. So CP Slow Transfers is going to join us right now, and then we'll get started. Okay, just a couple of seconds. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So I just kind of introduced what we're going to be talking about today, but I'll introduce myself. My name is Olivia Jones, pronouns she, her, hers, and I am a fourth-year communication studies student here at Cal Poly. I work in Cal Poly admissions as a recruitment assistant, and then I'm also a Poly rep, so we're the official university ambassadors and tour guides. So I have a lot of Cal Poly knowledge, but I'm excited to, get to know all about the transfer center and offer people of all the resources that they need. If you want to introduce yourself.
Well, thanks for having us. My name's Heather Dominowski. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the coordinator of Cal Poly's Transfer Center. And I've been in my role a little over 2 years, which is as long as the Transfer Center's been open. And I am joined tonight by Transfer Tux, my kitty from the Cal Poly Cat Program, who is very excited to say hello to all our new admits. And we'll be hanging out. If you don't follow us already, he often makes very, very cute features on our Instagram, and is a fun feature. So I'm excited to be here. I know that you've got some questions for me, and then we definitely, as you said, ask questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer any of those that we can. So
awesome. So do you want to give kind of a general overview of what the Transfer Center offers to students?
Yeah, so the Cal Poly Transfer Center, we focus on 3 main areas. Those 3 things are resources, community, and advocacy. And so within the resources, we both provide transfer-specific resources. So we have things like transfer academic coaching or transitioning to the quarter system events and worksheets. And then we also connect folks. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine. I'm hoping everyone can. If you can't hear either one of us, put it in the comments. I guess that would only work if you could hear us.
I'll put it in the thing. So we also connect folks to resources. Awesome. I see some folks saying they can hear. Perfect. So what that might look like is at your community college or another school that you go to, maybe it's called a slightly different office, or you're not really sure what that resource is. And so that's what we're here for too. You can come to our front desk, you can email us, you can call us, and we'll be able to say things like, this is the person in that office. Or maybe, I totally understand it can be intimidating to email the blank office at calpoly.edu. So we are then there to say, hey, that's what this office is, or this is what they can provide you. Or, did you know we have college librarians who can help you with your research projects? And so we can connect you to resources like that. For community, we offer tons of different community building events. So we have things like transfer talks, we do bowling, we have study breaks, and then advocacy is really focused on how to make Cal Poly a more transfer inclusive environment. So things that we do, I think we came to a Poly Reps meeting and we talked about transfer inclusivity tips around language. We have a transfer student advisory council, which is a great way for any current or soon to be transfers at Cal Poly looking to do leadership roles, where you could be on a council that meets with different campus partners to support them in becoming more transfer inclusive. And then I also do work behind the scenes with different policies at Cal Poly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's as a poly rep, I definitely need reminders that, not everyone comes into Cal Poly as a first-time freshman, and it's so easy to just speak about all of these blanket resources, but knowing that, coming from high school is very different from coming from a community college. So I think it's great to offer those resources to people.
Yeah. So resources, community, and advocacy, but I always say, if you're a transfer and you're like, what should I be doing, or where can I be? How can this part of my Cal Poly experience be better? Come talk to us, and we'll work with you on that.
Awesome. So we have a couple of questions coming in. The first question is, when do transfers on the wait list hear back usually?
Great. So that depends. I would say it never hurts to talk with the admissions office. We in the transfer center are not involved in the admissions process, and so the best way to do that is to call. Y'all have your admissions phones open from noon to 4. Super helpful. Or you can email admissions@calpoly.edu. But they'll be letting you know. And if you are looking to get off the wait list or you want to file an appeal, I would say talk to the admissions office and they can help with that.
Yeah, I know that the waitlist, at least the first-time freshman, is July 15th. You'll hear back by then. I'm not 100% sure if that's the same.
It should be the same for transfers.
Okay.
They tend to keep deadlines like that the same.
Yeah, so that is when you will officially hear back about your waitlist status. So just keep checking those emails. That was someone that couldn't hear, but we got it. Should incoming transfers take a lighter course load their first quarter?
That's a great question. And it depends. I would say you definitely want to be at the 12 units because that is important for your financial aid and other things like that. When you go to transfer slow days, which happens, that's virtual orientation, 1 day assigned by your major that happens the week before you register. Transfers register for courses on August 15th, Monday, August 15th. At slow days, you'll talk with your colleges and your academic advisors, and they have a fall suggested course list. So they tell you these are the courses that we suggest you taking. Those are also the courses that they've reserved seats in that will open up just for transfers. And I would say, definitely don't take. Some folks will take 13. Some folks will take, maybe you take only 3, full 3 or 4 credit classes, but then you want to take like bowling or volleyball or, something like that. So I think it depends on the level of the course. And that's a great thing to talk about with your advisor or your faculty advisor at slow days about, what is that best suggestion.
Yeah, I would say, it doesn't hurt to try and ease into things a little bit because you'll be transitioning to everything else. You want to make sure you're going to be able to get all of your classes done in the amount of time that you want to take to graduate. So kind of up to you depending on how many units you're going to have to take in general. When can admitted students apply for scholarships?
Yeah, so notified through financial aid and through the financial aid tab in your portal about when you can apply for additional scholarships. And then I would also encourage folks to just look at the Cal Poly financial aid website. They link to a lot of outside of Cal Poly external scholarships that aren't Cal Poly run that you can apply to year round. And so those are the 2 best places that you can kind of submit your information, but most of those you're not, especially internal Cal Poly scholarship, you're not going to hear about those by May 1st when you have to accept your decision.
Yeah, I agree. I think looking at their websites and looking at those external scholarships, there's tons of scholarships that people just don't even apply to. So I would always encourage you to just go for it if you're interested. Someone asked, what can transfers expect to happen during WOW?
Yeah, so WOW stands for Week of Welcome. Week of Welcome is planned by the New Student and Transition Programs, or orientation. CP orientation is what their Instagram handle is. But what WOW has looked like in the past is it's 3 to 5 days, depending on the year. And it's really focused on getting you familiar with the physical, layout of campus, where are my classes, where are the resources, helping you build that community of friends. And then there are sessions that happen, like we host one with our academic coaches on adjusting to the quarter system. Career Services hosts an event to help you be prepared, because there are week to a fall quarter that transfers should be going to look for summer internships. And if you hear that and you're intimidated, know that you can even start working with Career Services in August to review your resume and prepare, and they'll talk a lot about that during WOW. It's also a time to tours of campus, get connected with campus. When you pay for WOW, that includes the meals. But they have started last year, and from all that I have heard from orientations, they plan to do it again, where there's 2 options. So you can do the WOW track for transfers, where you're put in a group and you have group leaders, and you can do the WOW track where it's choose your own adventure. So there's certain sessions that are required, but then you don't have to make it an all-day thing every day, which can be helpful for folks who have jobs or commute, or who have dependents or kids.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good to note the 2 options there. And, if you're someone that's looking to find that community straight away and find fellow transfer students and really get involved with the Cal Poly community aside from your classes, then I would definitely recommend going. But if you just want to find out about Cal Poly resources you can take advantage of, then that's definitely an option too. Okay.
I saw a question about the Career Services. So I'm not sure the exact date they're going to start accepting appointments, but you all get an amazing biweekly newsletter from admissions. And you may feel like you get a lot of Cal Poly emails, but that biweekly newsletter, it comes out every other Tuesday. So the next one is coming out next Tuesday. That's where myself, the advisors, and different folks from campus work with admissions to really time information being reminded to you all as you need it. And so we will highlight in that newsletter when Career Services is taking appointments, how you sign up for their appointments. The nice thing about Career Services at Cal Poly is every college has their own specific career counselor, which is a great resource. And so those are that's what to be on the lookout for. I don't know the exact date, but we will let you know in that biweekly newsletter.
Awesome. Are there any Discords, group chats, etc., where transfer students could connect?
Yes, we do have a Discord, and I should have remembered the information. I will make sure to post it tomorrow on our story. So if you don't follow us now. We will not follow you back, but we do have a Transfer Center Discord, which is a really great way to connect with other transfer students. I would also look at Facebook groups, especially if you're looking for finding roommates or housing. There's some Cal Poly Facebook groups that can be really good resources for finding that information. But yeah, I will get that Discord link up on our Instagram in the next we'll share it throughout the next week.
That's great. Yeah, definitely Facebook is a big one. I know that I know the freshmen are kind of using Instagram a little bit more now, but I definitely used Facebook. And then through that, you can often connect with people on other social media. I know that people have also been using something called Patio, which I think is like a College Connect website or app where you meet with other college students. So I'm not sure if there's a transfer sort of.
I have never heard of that before.
I only know about it, but could be a cool thing. So yeah, I would definitely explore all of those resources, and I'm sure you can find some people that have committed to Cal Poly. Can your 4th year of language be a new language rather than AP of the 3-year one you've been studying? That is something that I would email admissions about, just because I don't think either of us know that specific answer.
Nope.
So I would either call Cal Poly admissions or email them at admissions@calpoly.edu. I just don't want to give you false information.
And I think that's a great reminder that right now, between now and July 15th, really any question that you have, you should start by going through admissions. And the reason for that is that until July 15th, some of you might have read, I'm conditionally admitted. Everyone is conditionally admitted. because it's depending on for high school students that they graduate high school, and for transfer students that you take the classes that you told us you were going to take in spring quarter, and that you send your final transcripts. And so they're waiting for that. And once they get that, then you become on July 15th an official student. And at that point, other offices on campus can look at your information and look at your credits. But until then, admissions is the only office that can look at your file and know what advice to give you. So when in doubt, between now and July 15th, if you have any questions, I would email admissions, call admissions, because if you call a different office, they're likely going to tell you, I can't answer that question right now. And it's not because they don't want to, but it's because we don't have you officially in the system that all of us can see until you send in those final transcripts and any other things outlined in your admissions checklist.
Awesome. Thank you. When will Cal Poly Honors Program decisions be out? So I just looked it up, and it says that applicants will be notified of their admission status by the last week in April and prior to May 1st. So if you've applied to the Cal Poly Honors Program, whether they invited you to join or if you went through their website, you should be hearing anytime soon about your admission status, so that can factor into your decision about whether you want to come to Cal Poly. Is it a good idea to take community college classes like the GED courses the summer before going into college as a first year? I would say it's completely up to you. If I were you, I wouldn't rush into taking community college classes, just because I think that you're going to get blocked into freshman classes, so you don't really know what your schedule is going to look like yet. So you don't know whether you'll be, you don't want to take classes through community college that you could potentially get blocked into. So I would recommend waiting until the summer after your freshman year if you feel like you need to, save some time and money taking community college classes. I don't know, Heather, if you have anything to add to that.
I'm not the one to answer first year questions for credits. I focus on the folks coming in as junior status, so I will go with whatever you said.
Perfect. Does everyone need a summer internship, or is that based on your program or optional?
Yeah, that's a great question. So summer internships are very common at Cal Poly, and a lot of majors encourage them. But if they're required, it would be associated with some type of class requirement at Cal Poly, and that would be outlined in your curriculum sheet. Those you can even look at now on the Office of the Registrar website. You can look at your curriculum sheet and what is required. There are senior projects in some majors that might be an option to fulfill a senior project, but again, a lot of folks get internships because it's a great way to build your resume. The nice thing about internships is they know you only have your summer, so it's kind of built for you to come in and do that summer opportunity. And there are some majors, like one of the architecture majors, where you do an internship during the school year, and it's like part of your credit course load. But that version of an internship is not that common.
Yeah, great answer. I would definitely recommend looking into one. It's a great way to figure out whether you do or don't want to do something in your future career. So, going to those career fairs or networking with people on online resources is a great thing to do. So, can you tell us more about the academic coaching program that you will offer at the Transfer Center?
Yeah, so we have an amazing program. If I could tell any transfers, sign up at some point in your first 2 quarters, even your first 3, is the academic coaching program. And what that is it's current transfer students who are wanting to support you in your academic success. So Cal Poly has the Writing and Learning Center, and that's what I call content-specific tutoring. So, I'm in blank calculus class and I need help understanding the calculus class. Great, go sign up for a tutor. What the coaches do is they are great support for adjusting to the quarter system, or how do I manage my time? I have all these syllabi. What's the best way? Cal Poly has this equation. For every 1 unit, you should do 2 hours of studying. Well, how do you make that work? Especially if you're commuting or you have a job or you're taking care of kids. Like, how can we help you balance that? What does it look like to, connect with faculty? If you're not coming from a school where you've talked a lot about meeting with faculty, we highly encourage you come meet with a coach and learn strategies, because at Cal Poly, it's encouraged to go to office hours and to get to know your faculty. That's one of the perks of being in a small class size, but that can be intimidating for folks. So meeting with a coach is a great way to do that. So the coaches, you can sign up virtually or in person for a meeting, and it's just, some folks like to meet every 2 weeks with their coach in their fall quarter because it helps them have that accountability buddy. Other folks come once or twice a quarter, but they're a really awesome resource, and we love getting to hear about the successes. And it can also just be really nice to talk to someone who's been there before, right? Someone who was a transfer, is still a transfer, and can really relate and share in that experience with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a resource I didn't even know about. And so I think that I've never regretted going to a resource on campus or having a mentor and speaking with someone. So I would always recommend doing that. Someone asks, will after our first quarter be the right time to apply for a minor? Relating this to the transfer experience, is it possible to pick up a minor as a transfer?
It is. You can do a minor. There's a really helpful website on, you just Google Cal Poly minors, that can tell you about the minor process. One of the things to know is that they're not going to accept you for a minor if it's going to make you stay at Cal Poly longer than it will take you to get your major classes. So if you're a transfer coming in who wants to minor, I would even look just what might be a class that if you have 2 or 3 major classes you're taking in fall quarter, and you can take one upper division GE elective, we'll try to choose that GE elective that would fulfill the minor that you're looking for. And that website has all the different minors and all the requirements. It looks different to apply for different minors depending on the college that you're applying for, but it is definitely something that's doable. You'll just want to be really intentional, because if you wait too long and you decide in your last year, I want to get a minor, it might get to that point where Cal Poly says, well, you're not going to be able to stay here for an extra 2 quarters just to complete your minor. And the reason that they do that is they want to try to make sure, 1, that you're getting out on time, and 2, that we don't have too many people, more people than we have seats for classes.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think just the main thing, staying on top of it, doing that research before you even come here, so you know straight away what you're interested in. Can summer term be covered by financial aid? I don't know if this is about.
There is very limited to no financial aid for summer quarter, and that's not just a Cal Poly thing. There are some scholarships that you can apply for, but it is not included in your Cal Poly financial aid package. And especially for the summer coming into Cal Poly, there is no way to access your financial aid until the first day of fall quarter.
Thank you. How can people get in contact with the Transfer Center? What are your kind of advising hours look like currently?
Yeah, so we have on our website, transfercenter.calpoly.edu, we have our hours listed. And so for any of our in-person hours, which this quarter are Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, and Friday, 9 to 1, our phones you can call on the phone anytime that our doors are open and talk to someone. The same goes with email. I'm one of the 2 people that checks the email. It's not a robot, transfer@calpoly.edu. I'm the person. And I'm checking that email during normal business hours, Monday through Friday. You can message us on Zoom, and we'll get back to you on Instagram messaging, and we'll get back to you again during those normal business hours with any questions that you have. And then if you are local or you're coming to tour campus, you can stop by the center and get a hold of us. This summer, we'll be doing virtual Zoom drop-in hours to provide support for current or incoming transfer students who have general questions. So again, not super specific because we can't look at your admissions process, but if you're thinking, how do I find housing, or I'm confused about this, we can help kind of make sense of different aspects like that. And we'll have those virtual Zoom drop-ins posted on the website for folks by June 1st, since we will be doing our in-person hours until the end of finals week. So that's the ways to get in touch with us. And I will share some of those things in the chat right now.
Perfect.
Great questions, folks, and feel free to keep writing them in for us. we getting any more questions?
Nothing right now, but I was just going to ask you, what does the transfer kind of physical space look like? Is it somewhere that people hang out, or is it more of, just specific to speaking with you?
Great question. So our center has lots of great resources. So when you walk in, we do have that front desk, but we have some couches and some chairs that you can hang out in. We got a whiteboard if you're someone that wants to have a visual space to do some group studying. We've got a refrigerator, so if you ever need a place to leave your lunch, we got a refrigerator with a freezer. We have a microwave that you can use. We have a hot water maker we've got good instant coffee and lots of teas. Then we've got 2 computers, so if you forget your computer and need to use a computer, and then we have free printing for transfers, and so that's a great resource. And then we got tables just for general study space. So it's a little bit of everything in there, and we're located in Building 52, which is right near the University Union. And it's also in the same building that our Dream Center, EOP, Black Academic Excellence Center, Center for Military Connected Students, International Center, Study Abroad, Cal Poly Scholars, Center for Service and Action, and orientations. We got tons of people, so it's a great hub of folks, lots of great resources, and that is where we are located. And then we do lots of events all over campus, so if you ever see a pop-up that says Transfer Center, that means it's for you all. We want you to come by, and who knows, maybe we'll have free food, fun swag, cool resources, but we like to pop up around campus too.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that you're there supporting all the transfers. I know my boss Aaron mentioned you were doing free food the other day, so yeah, I think it's really cool that you offer that space for people.
Yep.
We have another question. If I have an AA, can I get out of GEs? Do I still have to take general education?
Yeah, so there, an AA, or if you are coming with either GE certification or a GETSI certification, that means you've completed all of your lower division GE requirements. But at all the Cal States, there's also upper division GE courses. So 12 upper division GE units, unless you're in engineering, and then they have some of those GEs count for upper division engineering math courses. And so it's 9, but it's really just because it's folded in the curriculum. So your AA doesn't have any upper division courses in it, so you'll have to complete those upper division general education credits as part of your time at Cal Poly.
Great, thank you. If we call the transfer center, will they help us out with classes I should take at my community college to help our chances to get accepted?
That brings up 2 really important points. First is that academic advising for transfer students, once they are at Cal Poly, so current students, is done through your college advising center. So all 6 colleges have their own advising center. We do coaching, but we don't do academic advising. So once you come to Cal Poly, all your academic advising will be done through your college advising center. That's who you'll connect with at Slow Days. Again, that summer newsletter will share important information about advising when it's the time to know about them. And we do events with them throughout the year to help you connect with your advisors. Now that's for current students. If you are looking to apply to Cal Poly, the resource is to talk with admissions, but really the best step is to talk with your current community college counselor and look at the transfer selection criteria for the major that you're applying for and work with them to figure out what classes you need to take, because your community college counselor is the best expert on what classes your community college offers and how they're going to articulate to Cal Poly's curriculum. So I always say, if you're looking to transfer to Cal Poly, pull up our admitted transfer student website, transfer selection, or not, our prospective transfer student website on admissions. Work with your community college, and then if together you still have questions, then reach out to the admissions office.
Yeah, I think that's a great advice. I know that we often have transfer students coming in to asking how they can best make themselves competitive applicants, but I think it definitely starts with looking at Cal Poly's specific criteria and then working with your own community college.
And taking as many, the transfer selection criteria by major has required and desired courses. And so you want to take all the required, and then the more desired courses you take, the more competitive your application becomes.
So for one kind of final question to you, do you have any advice or things that transfers should be doing to prepare for coming to Cal Poly?
Definitely. I highlighted the checking that newsletter, the biweekly newsletter from admissions, really helpful resource. And really in general, if Cal Poly sends you an email, I know I get a ton of emails, but it's worth reading them because admissions is really intentional when trying to send that have important information. You're not going to get any junk mail between now and fall quarter from Cal Poly. If it got sent to you, it's got important information in it. So staying up to date and watching that. And then within your admissions, your Cal Poly portal, looking at that checklist, there will be things that says, hey, we might need this form for you, or make sure you send us that. Checking that. If you have questions and you were like, what does this mean? Call admissions. They're super helpful. Beyond that, is you start looking for a place to live sooner rather than later. It can be pretty hard to find housing in the city of SLO, and so not waiting until August or September to try to find a place to live. People are signing leases now for the fall quarter. They've been signing leases. Those Facebook groups, as you said, Craigslist. I was never someone who looked at Craigslist before I moved to SLO, but it is a way that people find housing in San Luis Obispo. And then starting to, just find that community. That could be through the Discord that we'll be sharing. That could be through looking at clubs and organizations and just following them on Instagram, kind of seeing what it's like. Following us on Instagram, following admissions, people will give little nuggets of things. And then when in doubt, it never hurts to, reach out to us. Our student assistant, Kaylee, she's a current transfer student. She'll be the one running all the Zoom drop-ins in the summer. Hop on Zoom and talk to her on a Tuesday night and just tell her what you're going through, or talk through what you're worried about, or get her feedback. I mean, she is working on our Zoom office hours in the summer to help you all with your transition.
Yeah, that is great advice. I think definitely housing, staying on top of that, and getting excited about coming to Cal Poly, following those accounts and finding organizations and things you want to get involved in. Making those connections will just make it as smooth a transition as possible. Follow the Transfer Center on here, admission. And then I also put the Polyreps Instagram account on here too. I run the Polyreps Instagram account, and so I love talking with people about Cal Poly. We also do Takeover Tuesday. So every Tuesday, a Polyrep goes through a day in their life. So if you want to kind of get a good look about what it's like to be a Cal Poly student, then I would definitely follow us on there. And we're going to be doing more of these Instagram lives. So we'll be doing ones on housing, study abroad, lots of cool resources coming up. So definitely follow this account and keep tuning in on Mondays. And if anything that we talked about today, video will be posted on our Instagram account as well as our YouTube page. So definitely check it out if you want to see anything we missed. And we'll say goodbye to Heather and her lovely cat.
Well, Transfer Tux and I, we want to remind you that you got into Cal Poly. That is a huge feat. We want you here. You belong here. And so, make sure to soak that in and know that there are no silly questions. If you have the question, there's at least 5 other people who have that question. And so don't hesitate to ask it, and you will not be bothering us. We are here. Polyreps is here to help you. That is our job. So let us know what you all need, and have a great evening. And thanks for being here with us, Olivia.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Bye, everyone.
Hey there, my name's Rafael. I'm a 4th-year journalism transfer student with a minor in Spanish, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Thank you for watching the video. Please share any questions or comments you have down below in the comment section. Click here to subscribe, and to watch more videos, click here. If you want to sign up for a campus visit, we're offering in-person and virtual options, so check out our website. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.